Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be looking at a band I have heard of but apparently I've never listened to before. We're going to be looking at Motionless in White. Now, I was pretty sure that I'd covered this band once before, but having looked through all of my previous videos, apparently not. However, 5 years ago I did look at a track by a band called New Year's Day, a track called Angel Eyes, and that featured Chris Motionless from Motionless in White. So maybe that's where I've got the confusion from. I don't know, but I was pretty sure I'd covered this band, but apparently not. Now, this is another Patreon request that comes from Bladed Thesis. Once again, thank you very much for the suggestion. Sorry it's taking me a while to get to it this month. I've had a bit of a mental health crisis at the beginning of the month, but we'll move on from that. So anyway, obviously, I knew, like I said, I know of the band, but I don't know anything about the band. So, as is my norm, I jumped in to see if I could find any information about the band. And Motionless in White is an American metalcore band from Scranton, Pennsylvania, formed in 2004. So they're actually a relatively newish band. I mean, okay, that's what, 19 years now? Give or take. The band consists of vocalist Chris Motionless Cerulli, guitarist Ryan Sitkowski, and Ricky Horror Olsen, and drummer Vinnie Mauro, and bassist Justin Morrow. Cerulli is the only member of the original lineup that remains with the band. Okay. The group has stated that their band name derived from the 18 Visions song Motionless and White. Let's see. Motionless in White was signed to Fearless Records for the first 3 studio albums. Their fourth, Graveyard Shift, was released in May 2017 through Roadrunner. And their 5th album, Disguised, was released in 2019, followed by their 6th album, Scoring the End of the World, in June 2022. Now, the song I'm looking at today, I don't know how recent this track is. I'm going to be looking at a track called Masterpiece. Like I said, this was suggested to me by Bladed Thesis in a Patreon request. And, yeah. What did it say? It was a metalcore band. Okay, so I have a vague idea of what sort of style to expect. And I seem to recall I did enjoy the New Year's Day track, which featured him. But we'll see, because, you know, sometimes when bands do collabs, they don't necessarily use their own, you know, the guest vocalists don't necessarily use their signature style or whatever in an accompanying track. So, who knows? I've got some lyrics here. They just come from a Google search, so I'm hoping they're going to be accurate. So, yeah, we'll jump into this and see what we've got. So, Masterpiece by Motionless in White. Let's have a look.
All the stupid lies and the stupid games left a vacancy in this picture frame. A prisoner by my own hands. 'Cause if I can't have me, then no one can. I need to heal what I inflict, but I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. As I play roulette with a broken gun, I confess these sins with a sharp and spiteful tongue. So how do I apologize and put the tears back weight, all my pain, and set it all ablaze. Burn! And set it all ablaze. So how do I apologize and put the tears back in your eyes when every canvas that I paint is a masterpiece of my mistakes, and in the light of my demise I see my failures in your eyes. Every canvas that I paint is a masterpiece made of my mistakes.
Well, there we go. Masterpiece by Motionless in White. It's actually quite a short track. I think it comes in under 4 minutes. Now, what can I say about that? Well, I mean, it was a good piece of music. I actually quite enjoyed that. You know, it had a lot of emotion coming through it. You know, there was a definite feel of weightiness to the actual subject of the song. You know, and it was very well performed. What I will say, though, is the actual vocal style is very, very generic, if you get my meaning. You know, this sort of band became quite popular at a certain point in time, and a lot of them had very, very similar vocal styles, you know. It was a very generic sort of sound, you know. There's probably like dozens of bands which sound just like this. Now, that could just be an outlier of a track, you know. Other tracks by this band might be a lot different. I mean, you could hear in the performance there was that underlying suggestion of much harsher vocals. I mean, there was a point where he did actually go into some more sort of harsher, sort of almost growled vocals, but you know, they didn't really appear much in this track, but there was the suggestion that did exist in the band's catalogue. So like I said, this might be an outlier of a track which gives it that sort of generic sound, but that doesn't take away from the sort of weight and emotional depth that this song had. And, you know, I quite liked it, you know, that it, like I said, it had a very sort of generic sound, but it still kept me invested in the track because of the emotional weight that it was putting forward. You know, and that's something that I really appreciate in music. You know, if music doesn't make you feel something, you're doing it wrong. You know, there are plenty other songs, you know, which sound vocally like this track, or even musically like this track, but they don't have that weight to them, and you know, they just sort of end up being background music. But there's something about the way that this track was actually performed. You know, the way he put emphasis on certain parts. You know, there was some lightness in certain parts, there was some heaviness in certain parts. You could almost feel the anguish and angst in his voice at certain times. You know, and it was placed just right to sort of bring forward the emotional depth that he was trying to convey with the meaning of the song. Now, the song itself seems to be him sort of coming to the realization, you know, of all the stupid decisions he's made, all the mistakes he's made, and how that's affecting people around him, you know, and he's sort of come to this realization, you know, I've done so many stupid things, and everything beautiful I've tried to do has been spoiled by these things that I've done. That's what it seems to suggest. I mean, the song opens up, all the stupid lies and the stupid games left a vacancy in this picture frame. A prisoner by my own hands, 'cause if I can't have me, no one can. I need to heal what I inflict, and I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. As I play roulette with a broken gun, I confess these sins with a sharp and spiteful tongue. So all the lies and stupid games left a vacancy in this picture frame. So all the stupid things he done, all the lies he's told. It seems to be he's talking about one specific person here. All the stupid lies he's told this person, all the sort of mind games, all these emotional games that he played with this one person has left a vacancy in this picture frame. So instead of there being like a happy couple in the picture, it's just him standing alone, and the vacancy is, obviously where that second person was supposed to be. A prisoner by my own hands. So, it's his own doing. He's put himself in this cage, because he's made so many stupid decisions, so many bad decisions, that he's basically isolated himself from everybody else, because nobody can now trust him. Everybody, he's made himself untrustworthy to all these people, so he's basically locked himself away from everybody else. If I can't have me, no one can. That suggests a sort of mental health sort of angle as well, because maybe like his head is so messed up. This is why he did all these things in the first place. If I can't have me, no one can. So it's like, I need to find myself. I need to sort of be comfortable within myself. I need to fix myself before anybody else will actually be able to accept me or believe me or trust me again, possibly. I need to heal what I inflict. Obviously, he's caused a lot of pain, a lot of mistrust and that sort of thing in other people. So he needs to sort of make amends for that. But I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. I need to sort of fix myself first, and then fix the relationships with other people. So I'll get to that eventually, but I need to fix me first. As I play roulette with a broken gun, I confess these sins with a sharp and spiteful tongue. So I confess these sins so he's confessing to what he's done. He's admitting that he's made these mistakes, but why the sharp and spiteful tongue? Because that sort of suggests that there's no actual. Is contrition the word I'm looking for? He's sort of apologising for it. He's sort of admitting to it, but it's almost like he's not sorry for it. I don't know. That last line sort of doesn't make sense to me. Anyway. Carries on. So how do I apologise and put the tears back in your eyes when every canvas that I paint is a masterpiece of my mistakes? So it's like, so how do I fix this? How do I make all this right? After all the horrible things I've done, how can I turn around and make this right when everything I do, says that every canvas that I paint is a masterpiece of my mistakes. So it's like everything I try to do just shows how many mistakes I've made. Everything I try to create just reminds me of everything terrible that I've done. Is that what he's saying there? I don't know. Outlined in gilt, my portrait stares in a gallery where the walls lie bare. As I modernise my antique ways, true colours can't escape the brush of fate. So, my portrait stares in a gallery where the walls lie bare. So it's like, again, this is a suggestion of he's all alone. He's managed to push everybody away, where he might have once had many friends, many loved ones around him, all the stupid mistakes that he's made, all the bad decisions he's made, all the lies he's told, he's pushed everybody away. So now, like when he said he was in a prisoner by his own hands, he's isolated himself. He's managed to push everybody away from him, so he's got no one to turn to. So now he's just standing in a bare room, essentially. There's no one he can turn to. As I modernise my antique ways. So, he's trying to change, he considers all the things he's done in the past, all the decisions, all the ideals he had in the past, they're like antique. So he's trying to sort of change it. He's trying to give himself a new mindset, as it were, maybe. True colours can't escape the brush of fate. So again, it's like he's trying to fix his old ways, but maybe he keeps finding himself falling back into those old habits. I don't know. Then it goes back into that chorus. So how do I apologise and put the tears back in your eyes? On every canvas that I paint is a masterpiece of my mistakes. And then this is where he sort of came in with those sort of heavier sort of things. Illustrate all my pain and set it all ablaze. Burn and set it all ablaze. Excuse me. So this is him sort of maybe trying to burn and destroy, trying to erase the past that, he doesn't want to remember all of the bad things he's done, so he wants to burn it all, he wants to destroy it all and essentially start again, possibly. And then it goes into a modified version of the chorus. So how do I apologise and put the tears back in your eyes when every canvas that I paint is a masterpiece of my mistakes? And in the light of my demise, I see my failures in your eyes. Every canvas that I paint is a masterpiece made of my mistakes. So, in the second half of that, in the light of my demise, I see my failures in your eyes, So as I sort of come to my end, as, I sort of come to terms with everything that I've done, I can see in your eyes the disappointment. I can see what I've done to you, the pain and anguish on your face is all caused by me. I can see it in your eyes how disappointed in me you are, how much I've hurt you, that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's got quite a heavy, well, I wouldn't say heavy as in, it's not heavy as in like depressing, but it's got that sort of subject matter to it where it's like, it's better to sort of try and make amends for things that you've done. It's never too late to apologize for something. Whether or not they accept your apology is a different matter, but rather than living with the regret of never trying to apologize to someone, it's always worth trying to at least trying to make amends. If they don't take it, it's fine, you tried, but you don't want to live with the regret of essentially, your actions have hurt someone. Your actions may have caused an indelible mark on someone's life. It may have scarred them in some way. And, who knows what effect that could have in their later life. So it's better to try and make amends for that sort of thing. Not necessary to alleviate your guilt, but, the admission of your wrongdoing can make a hell of a difference to someone. It might give them some sort of relief so that, the scar might still be there, but it might be lessened by the fact that, you've shown them that you're not really that much of a bad person. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody at some point in their life is going to say or do something to hurt someone. It's an unavoidable fact. Everybody is going to do that at some point. And it's always, how does that old axiom go? It's better to seek forgiveness than ask permission, something like that. It's always a good idea to at least to try and apologize, to try and make amends, because just leaving it open-ended just builds resentment. It just compounds the fact, and the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get. And like you're saying there, he's isolated himself. He's caused so much pain and so much suffering to so many people that he now finds himself alone. No one wants to be near him. No one can trust him. No one liked him because he's made so many mistakes, and now he's left it so long that everything he tries to do is just a reflection and reminds him of everything bad that he's done. And he has to live with that now because he's left it too long. That's what it seems to suggest to me anyway. I like the piece of music. I thought it was good. Like I said, it kept me engaged. Whilst it, like I said, it did have a bit of a generic sound to it, it did keep me engaged with, the manipulation of the emotional depth in the track. There was moments where there was almost cries of anguish. There was the sort of quiet moments of sort of self-reflection almost. So where he's used the different sort of emotional states of his voice, it really worked and it really keeps you engaged with the song. And I really like that. But like I said, the actual vocal style itself, the actual sound, the tone, everything of his voice is pretty generic for that sort of time period. It was a very popular sort of thing at the time, and I can only imagine back in 2004 when this came out, people referred to this as emo rather than metalcore because, you know, a lot of people don't know what it means. But, you know, I quite liked it. I'm not sure if this is something I'd actually go out of my way to listen to, because, you know, it's not bad. I can quite happily listen to it, but I don't know if I'd actively seek it out personally. But, you know, I liked it. It was a good piece of music. But I don't know what else I can say on that, so I'll leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like or a subscribe if you haven't already, because it really, really would help the channel out. You know, I spend a lot of time recording these videos. I spend a lot of time editing these videos and all that. And, you know, I upload them to YouTube and they just sort of disappear because, you know, people aren't liking and subscribing to the channel. You know, the videos aren't getting suggested to people, and it's kind of disheartening because I have been at this for about 5 years, and, you know, like I said, I put a lot of effort into it and nothing's happening. You know, people aren't getting to see the videos. And, you know, I like to think I bring something different than other reaction channels. I saw something the other day, I can't remember what it was, and people saying, you know, there was somebody saying how much they hated reaction channels because it was just people listening to music and going, yeah, it's okay, or no, it's crap. And I like to think I bring something different to that. You know, I actually talk about what the song is about, and not many, if any, other channels actually do that. They literally just watch the video and go, yeah, it's good, or it's okay. You know, nobody actually delves into, or very few people delve into how deep a piece of music is. You know, occasionally you'll get a channel who will go, you know, it's a good song, oh, by the way, this is what the song's about, but they don't go as in-depth as I do. And, you know, I like to think that's something unique that I bring to this, and, you know, I want to help other people discover new music. I want to discover new music myself. But, you know, people aren't liking and subscribing, so my videos are just disappearing and no one's watching them. So, you know, if you could like and subscribe, you know, it takes a fraction of a second, it doesn't cost you anything, and it really, really does help me out. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.